A second act should always feel darker than the first, but I wasn't prepared for quite how literally Insomniac would take that rule of storytelling. The majority of Turf Wars, the second of Spider-Man's 3-part DLC plotline, takes part almost entirely against a slate grey sky, sapping the colour from this usually vibrant depiction of New York. It's an intended and effective metaphor, of course. Things have taken a dark turn, with mob boss Hammerhead running rampant across the city. But, unintentionally, it sums up how I feel about Turf Wars 2. This is a greyer experience than first outing The Heist. Peter Parker's more worried and, crucially, less quippy, and the mixture of extra story missions and challenges is beginning to feel rather expected. It's still the same game fundamentally, it just doesn't feel quite as exciting. In fact, the structure is identical to The Heist. Setting aside the story for a moment, we have more emergent crimes to fight, adding a fun recurring mission in which you protect a police convoy from threats on its route through the city. Rather than paintings to find, we have Hammerhead fronts to take down, but these completely recycle the demon hideout structure, right down to making you enter through the roof. Finally, there are the Screwball Challenges, which not only force us to listen to more of the purposely irritating supervillain/streamer, but introduce a frankly terrible new stealth minigame to the mix, which, mercifully, you only have to play through twice. The sweetener here is that completing all of the above unlocks one of the best outfits yet, the anime-styled and proportioned Spider-Clan suit, which finally gives the fantastic comic book shaded suit a run for its money. Thankfully, the hour and a half of extra story content is far less predictable than the gameplay around it. With a mob boss as our new villain, Pete's back working alongside Captain Yuri Watanabe, who gets a chance to develop a more fleshed out personality than the role of superhero's phone-a-friend she played in the main story. Sadly, I have to report that some fans' favourite character, Spider Cop, does not make a return alongside her. Together, the duo uncover and attempt to thwart an ever-thickening plot from Hammerhead as he attempts to wrest control from other Magia families across Manhattan. In the course of events, we're introduced to a new enemy, mob wise guys who've swapped suits for jetpacks and energy shields and have a tendency to rhino charge your way. They're not a brilliant fight in and of themselves, but they add another wrinkle to some already busy combat. As befits a fight against crime, this is a far more action-oriented set of missions than the Heist's more stealthy approach, more often than not turning into mass brawls pretty quickly. Thankfully, the Heist's best innovation in that area, adding extra objectives mid-fight, returns more than once. All this fighting is, once again, definitively endgame content. Even with 100% completion in the main game and a full complement of abilities and gadgets under my belt, the sheer scale and length of some of the fights here led me to a few retries. It's another welcome chance to test your skill after tens of hours of practice. As is so often the case with a second act, the end is where Turf Wars truly shines. As the cloudy day gives way to a moonlit night, everything kicks up a notch. Fights give way to a boss battle, which in turn gives way to a tantalizing ending. Where the Heist's cliffhanger left me fairly certain I knew what might be going on in Turf Wars, the second DLC's conclusion leaves me far more unsure about where Episode 3's Silver Lining is headed. It might not be the standalone pack some will want, but Turf Wars is definitely doing its job as the second of 3 parts by leaving us ready and waiting for a far brighter finale. If you enjoyed that, maybe you want to hear about what we thought about the main Spider-Man game or the first DLC pack, The Heist. We've got reviews of both.